Okay, we should be live momentarily.
Yay!
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 Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I never can. Okay, we're live and welcome. We'll give it a couple seconds here, but I'm excited to start because we have been talking about doing this live for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. I am here with Manuela from Place of Stillness, and I am Amy at Strength Reversed. And if you are out there, thank you for joining us. We are doing some live readings with our Robinwood decks. Dun, dun, dun. And we both have kind of different experiences with Robinwood. Private chat. Kind of different. Let me mute myself. That always happens. Hold on. I got my Robinwood. It was my first deck. And I got it back in 90. Let me mute myself. 90 whenever. The late 90s. And I think it came out in the 90s, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so too. 91.
91. Okay, yeah. I probably got it in like 96. But it was my very first deck because I did not like the way the Rider-Waite looked. I just didn't like all the yellows and didn't think it was pretty. And so this looked very similar, but it was just a prettier version. Yeah. And it has been my gold standard ever since. You can see it's very like, mine's a little raggedy, but it has this feathery feeling because it's so worn in. Yeah. And this is just the deck that I picture when I picture tarot cards. It's all from this deck. So I have loved this deck since the beginning of my tarot journey. Back when you couldn't buy tarot decks, you didn't buy anything online. I had to go to an actual, woo-woo store and find a deck that I liked. There weren't very many choices back then. Yeah. But you just recently got yours, didn't you?
Yes, that's true. I got mine just some months back, actually, at my local witch. I was there at my local witch. It's 5 kilometers from here. I guess it's about 3 miles, something like that, 3 or 4 miles. So it's really close. And it's not that we have those metaphysical stores and shops everywhere. It's just a pure coincidence that I live really close to a witchy shop with a lot of very earthy decks and a lot of other things for esoteric practice. And actually I was looking for the Morgan Greer tarot because I thought, well, perhaps I could use the Morgan Greer for some tarot magic. It felt like a bit magical to me. And she didn't have the Morgan Greer, but then my eyes caught sight of the Robin Wood tarot, and then I thought about Amy and the Robin Wood tarot, and I guess Maria's comment, how many times can you say Robin Wood? And I thought, okay, if the Robin Wood is such a success, perhaps I get that one instead. And I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Maria and I talking about, I was going to do this tag or that tag, but they're all about your favorite this deck or your favorite that deck. And I said, well, how many times can I say Robinwood? That's my go-to answer. It's just always the Robinwood tarot.
Yeah. So it was you who used that expression. How many times?
I don't know. It's I just, I don't do a lot of the my top 5 decks because it would be the same video every time. It's always the same decks.
Yeah.
Start with Robinwood and go to the next one.
Yeah.
And I just recently, I've had the Robinwood forever, and then I just recently got the book, and it's fabulous. Gerald from Tarot Stash said, "Oh, you have to get the book." And so I got it, and it's one of those guidebooks that It's the guidebook you wish every deck creator would write. She goes through every detail and says, you know, why he has the garland on his head and why he's holding this and why his robe is purple and, you know, why he's holding. She goes through every single detail.
Wow.
So it's fabulous.
That sounds amazing because, it's the original creator who wrote that book with their thoughts on all the details. It's not like an after construction of someone who fell in love with the deck and made up their own stuff around symbolism and coloring and things like that.
No, it's right from her. And she actually had to do a lot of research and hadn't been reading tarot very long when she created the deck. So that's interesting too. And I'm giving it a good shuffle because I reset my deck this morning and let it sit out in the sun for a little while. And so I'm going to shuffle it really, really well. And for some reason, the comments are not coming up on my StreamYard. And so I'm going to have to look at my phone. Yeah, see. It says that it's set to private, which my video is not set to private because we have a lot of people here that I want to say hi to. Hi, Nina. Brianna Spiritual, hello. How are you, Nina? Dee, hi, how are you? Yes, guidebooks like that are the best. And yes. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Oh.
I'm a little out of sorts today. I was just telling Manuela, we're not quite done with the school year, but I'm done in my mind. I've been done in my mind for a while.
Yeah. Yay. I've also switched on the comments here on my YouTube and I've muted myself. So I'm a bit like lost in translation between different platforms, I guess.
Yes.
Yay. Hi. Hi, Nina. Hi, Bronia. Hi, Dee. So nice to see you here.
Okay. I'm just going to leave my phone like this and I'm going to have to look down. This has happened to me before on StreamYard, and it's just one of those things where you have to make do. Does anyone else out there have the Robin Wood? It's a classic. I feel like it's one of those decks that is never going to stop being sold. It's never going to go out of print, you know. Nia got the Robin Wood on Friday only because of this chat. Well, I hope you like it. That's exciting.
Oh, wow. So you will have to draw some cards along with us then. You can let us know in the chat what you got.
What do you think is your favorite card from this deck so far?
I think I really like the Queen of Swords, actually. It is a card with deck with very strong court cards, and I'm a big fan of strong court cards because I think they are so foundational in the tarot that we kind of really work with the cards and not just leave them aside or kind of feel intimidated by the cards. So I think good illustrations are always helpful. But somehow, I guess the Queen of Swords is evokes something extra with that rough landscape in the background, which reminds me of some kind of Celtic setting. And then she wears those blue robes with the white patches and the butterflies. And
I love the butterflies.
How about
it is very Celtic-y, and the back too is that pretty Kelly green,
Hmm.
kind of a Celtic knot.
How about yourself?
Well, so many of these cards are just ingrained in my psyche because they're what I think of when I think of tarot cards. But I love all of her knights. Not sure what the deal is with the focus. But like the Knight of Swords, there's so much energy in her knights. I really like that. Her court cards, I like that not all of them are sullen looking. Some they're happy looking too.
Yeah.
I love the Hermit.
That's beautiful.
And probably my favorite card in this deck is the Six of Swords.
Oh.
And that really changed the way I thought about that card. Well, I guess that it didn't because it was pretty much my first experience with that card, but it set the tone for how I think about that card. I'm trying to find it in my deck here. Here it is. Because in this one, you can barely see, there's like a invisible figure there guiding the boat.
Yeah.
So to me, the Six of Swords has always been a guardian angel kind of a card about trusting and knowing that there's someone steering the ship.
Yeah.
And I love that they're in the Swan.
In the Swan. It's a very peaceful Six of Swords, actually.
I think this person is blindfolded.
I got it too.
They look blindfolded, and it's not the traditional woman with a little kid sitting there. It's just a guy being guided.
Yeah. And there's this little star on the floor.
Where is it?
There's like a black patch.
Yes, I see that. I've never noticed that before. It's still something completely new.
It feels like they're kind of heading towards the little lantern or the little star. Perhaps it's a little light. Somebody's holding that.
Yeah, I love this card. It's so pretty.
Yeah. Any other cards in the deck that you really like?
I do love the Eight of Cups as well. Of course, the Three of Cups is so pretty in this deck.
Yeah.
Dee says, do you think the backs match the deck? That's why I never got the deck. You know, I never really contemplated the backs much. I like backs that are neutral, that are interesting but not too busy, and that are reversible. And these are all of that. So I like backs that don't get my attention in any way. You know, they don't distract me, and they don't make me go, I don't like that, you know. So I've never really, I can see what you're saying, but it does have sort of a Celtic-y feel to in a lot of the cards of the deck. So the backs have never bothered me.
And the decks, they speak of the time period when it was published as well. It feels like that 90s witchy vibes revival.
Yeah. Here's the King of Swords. I love him too.
Yeah. You once described yourself as the King of Swords, didn't you?
I did, and this is what I think of.
Yeah.
The Magician in this deck is a dead ringer for a professor that I had in college who was very much the magician. He absolutely knew what he was talking about, but he was sort of arrogant.
Yeah.
sort of full of himself.
Mm.
Not sure what's happening with my focus, but it's kind of annoying me.
Mm.
Yeah, it is a really pretty deck. And the color palette is actually one of the reasons that I was attracted to this, because I just did not like the Rider-Waite color palette at all. It was sort of 70s looking to me with the oranges and the browns and yeah. But I can see what you're saying about the backs, Dee. I'm just not, unless the back totally throws me off, I usually, same with borders, unless they're just really weird, I usually don't even notice them.
Yeah.
This is probably the most interesting. This is a card that I joke about with some of my tarot meetup people. We call it the fire penis card.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, the Ace of Wands is that creation and passion, and it's that energy, right?
Yeah. Actually, when I first got this deck, I thought, oh, wow, now I got it at that witchy shop, and that will be the perfect deck for me to read for clients at the witchy shop. And then when I flipped it through and I came across some of those rather nude cards, I thought, maybe that's not really the deck that is the best choice for anyone I'm reading for. Perhaps it's just a bit embarrassing to kind of place that very, very nude lovers couple right in front of clients.
Yeah. I was talking to Julie at Peekaboo Rose about this. She doesn't like that. And she kept talking about the hair's not matching, like the hair on her head doesn't match, and that bothered her or something. And so I think it was Maria or someone put a sticker over it, or made a fig leaf or something to put over the nudity.
Yeah.
So I don't even really notice it. There's some in the devil card too.
Oh yeah.
There's boobs in the devil card, you guys.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know why I've never really noticed. I mean, I noticed it, but it never really, you know. Curtain and carpets, yes, they did not match for some reason.
There was some dissonance to the headdress. Yeah. At the same time, I didn't really feel like I wanted to modify it in that way, just to make it more like appropriate for client readings. I thought, well, yeah, it is part of that kind of sense of the Robin Wood that is just a bit nude as it is, and I will go with other decks when I read for people. Well, perhaps not here, because today we're going to do readings with the Robin Wood, so we'll still have to see how many naked people will appear, but
I'm sure she talks about the nudity in the book. I'll have to see what she says. I think she does talk about it. I remember reading about how she talks about them being free with each other.
Yeah.
And so that's why, whatever. So that is very, you know, I don't know, hippy dippy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, should we start?
Yeah, let's start. Let's see.
If anyone has questions, should we just have you put them in all caps in the chat? Will that work? I think Jeanette has a question, though. And I wish I could put it up here, because I'm afraid if I click on something that I'm going to lose you.
I have big emotional wounds and it is physically painful. I don't know why. It is something that is bothering me too much.
Okay.
Are we're both drawing cards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shuffle. Okay, Jeanette. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I had 3 cards pop out, and then there's a 4th card that I kind of put to the side that would be the message from your guides. And the cards that came out were the Star, the Queen of Cups, and the Lovers. This is backwards. The naked cards. I guess there's even more nakedness, but that's okay. So these are so watery to me. I know the Lovers is not a traditional water card, but I feel like it is about emotions. And then this Queen of Cups is, so watery, and I can see this. My eye is always drawn to the handkerchief that's over her cup. It's kind of like shielding all of her feelings and not letting them get out of control. But I can see where you are really, really deep into your feelings, Jeanette, and kind of, I feel almost like they're kind of like all around you, like you're soaking in them. It's just kind of like almost drowning in your feelings, and that can be a little bit. Sometimes it's hard when you're overcome with emotions or something emotional like that is very painful. It's hard to find a way out of that because it consumes every part of you. Like you said, it can take over your thoughts. It weighs heavily on your mind. It takes a lot of your headspace and a lot of your energy, and it's hard to find that balance again. But I do notice that the Star and the Lovers on either side of this Queen, and I think the Queen is you, that you have a lot to process, and processing is not the same as keeping those feelings from coming up. So stifling those feelings or trying to push them down is not actually what is going to transform them or keep you above water. But on either side, you have these really beautiful cards that are about balance. And we have the Star, where you have 1 foot in the water and 1 on land, and you have the Lovers card. And the Lovers is, I think, this need to kind of be in love with yourself and finding balance within yourself and finding some way to balance the inner and the outer and balance the emotional with being a little more grounded. And what you got from your guides is this very nice, grounded Knight of Pentacles who doesn't really move very fast. So this is not a doing card. To me, this Knight is the least doer of the knights. He's more of a being kind of knight to me, and that is your mission. That's what kind of knight maybe you could be right now. So there's nothing to do about these emotions except just try to keep yourself grounded and show yourself love, and let them come up. So trying to cover them or lessen them or talk yourself out of them is not the most productive, because any kind of stress or trauma or hurt is going to eventually, it's going to come out somehow. And right now you're saying it's coming out through your body. And so I think that acknowledging that is kind of the first step. Like, this is how I feel, and not trying to talk yourself out of feeling that, but just staying. This knight is so healthy. He's so sure of himself and confident, and he has this pentacle right here that he really cares for, and he's not trying to get it anywhere, do anything with it. It's just his mission is to just care for it. You don't have to move forward or anything like that. So that's what's coming up for me. Just knowing that, holding space to feel those feelings and journaling or exercising or whatever you need to do to help you feel better while you're expressing those feelings is going to be really good for you, and you don't have to get over it. They'll transform on their own.
Yeah. My cards, they seem to speak about something very specific somehow. That's what I get from the combination of cards. First I got I think it should be, it's always mirrored, so yeah, I've got the Eight of Cups first, then the Hermit card, and then the Knight of Pentacles. And these three cards together, to me, they do not speak so much about the reasons why you might be experiencing what you are experiencing right now, but I see a common theme in each one of these three cards together as a story, which would be a kind of pushing away that experience of emotions, similar as to what Amy just said, and somehow isolating yourself from perhaps the social life, and also isolating your feelings by means of using your head, which would be the Hermit card, kind of going into the head, studying, looking for information instead of connecting with the body. And then also the Nine of Pentacles, kind of making sure that you keep your the gates to your property, perhaps the gates to your body or your physical home, quite tight and closed. And the Eight of Cups is somehow it's the first card, so it's where everything starts, which would also be kind of walking away maybe from a situation. There's some sense of responsibility in the Eight of Cups, but it could also be kind of almost forcing yourself to leave a situation, forcing your emotions to get out of somewhere, which would then kind of cause that feeling of tightness and perhaps experience of trauma. And what I see in these three cards as a way forward, perhaps not as a means to understand what has happened or why you are experiencing what you do, but as a means to move forward, is kind of leaving that isolation behind, moving out of your head into your feeling, into your emotions. As Amy said, with the Knight of Pentacles, you don't have to take big actions and start new projects or anything, but being and acknowledging while you kind of leave that that kind of a bit too secure and restricted space. Perhaps meet one person for a coffee, perhaps open the door, go for a walk, bring some motion into your situation to get new perspectives and reconnect. How does that sound?
I hope that works for you, Jeanette. Let us know in the comments. And I hope you are feeling better very quickly. Hi, Maria. I'm glad you're here.
Hey.
Hi, Dice Controller 187. So I think we have Dee who wanted a general reading.
Mm-hmm.
A general reading with this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I picked 3 cards. Actually, 3 cards kind of popped out of the deck. So I picked those 3 that offered themselves to the reading. And the first one is the 4 of Pentacles. So this card I see kind of as the theme and or the anchor for that reading, which will narrow the general down to something more concrete. And with the 4 of Pentacles, that card raises the question of material stability, material security, and that can be either way. It's neither like a super positive card nor like a negative message in that. It's simply raising that question about material stability. And the next card coming up is the 9 of Swords, which is that air card in the 9 with a strong independent energy to it. So there's full force of thinking energy coming in through the 9 of Swords, and it might be necessary sometimes to do that very intense thinking to make sure that we have considered all circumstances, but there is always that kind of overthinking aspect to the 9 of Swords as well. And usually in the Rider-Waite-Smith way of interpreting, we would almost see that card as like, yeah, it's more on the worry side than like thinking things through just carefully. So it seems like you might be in a situation where you currently reassess your material stability. It might be connected to money, it could be connected to a workplace or even to a home. And actually I feel a bit of that kind of worry coming through in respect in regards to that aspect in your life. And it resolves into the Hierophant. which actually feels very positive in this reading. I do not read reversals, so I never know if it's like coming up like what way it's supposed to be read right from the cards. I read the cards always upside, but here it feels like, even though you might be concerned, you actually are yourself quite on top of the situation. So it's not that you are in the hands of other people. You have all the means to take the decision, and you're very aware of your situation, and you're kind of actually quite know what to do, and also how to include other people into that situation, as is the Hierophant, who who is some sort of leader or teacher. So you will be the person to take those decisions, and as the Hierophant, yeah, it usually is a grounded decision that will turn out very well.
I got some. I do see this going in a good way, Dee. And I pulled 3 cards also, and I was thinking past, present, future. But when I say that, I mean near past and near future. And here's what I got. So, sorry, this is my camera's opposite. So it's kind of, so near past, present that's the Queen of Pentacles. The present is the Death card, and future was the Fool reversed. So I'm kind of told myself this story. This is what popped into my head, that, here's Dee, having her shit together, minding her own beeswax, everything's great, and some shift happened, Dee. There was some change and some shift that's happening right now. And I feel like you're trying to move on to the next card. And so here's this Fool card, which is a new beginning and setting out on a new journey and a new path, but not quite yet. And you might be trying to like jump the line here, because you're cutting in line, Dee. Okay, this you're going to have to do first. And but they're saying don't worry about that. There's still this transition happening, and I feel like you're almost trying to like gloss over it. But no, you're gonna have to go inside and acknowledge this, or feel this, or move through this. You can't skip this part, Dee. Can't skip it. I'm sorry. But I feel like you're good at this part. You're good at, like, once this part is ready to go, you're going to be like off on the next adventure. But there is another card that I pulled, and that was just what your guides want to remind you of during this time. And I got the 9 of Cups, which what popped into my head is whatever Dee wants, Dee gets. And so I feel like, just enjoying right now, and kind of still finding what you like, and finding some fun, and knowing that you can do this, and knowing that things are in a process for you. Things are working for you, and they're not working against you. So have some faith in that. And I feel like once you move through this shift, which it might feel kind of frustrating or icky right now, I feel like it's going to be something this card will turn right side up, and it's just going to be something that you really like, is is coming up on the horizon. So don't fear. How's that, Dee? I hope it's good. Which is your stalker card?
I think it's the Four of Pens.
Four of Pentacles, okay.
And Dee hasn't slept in 3 days, so.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dee.
Yeah. So it sounds like there was something in the reading that resonated. So yeah, thank you for your trust, Dee. Pressing thumbs, everything will fall into place very soon.
Yes. Okay, Elements, I like that name. Elements says, recently promoted at my current job and start this week in a new role. Wondering about challenges with coworkers that this may cause.
I will pose the question as how will the relationships with co-workers turn out to be, or what will they be like, in order not to provoke conflict in the first place, just letting the card speak of whatever the relationships will be like.
Okay. Well, the card that popped out of the deck, that is you, is the Two of Pentacles. And I can see you keeping things balanced very well. Of course, I feel like, you know, you're good at that balance. You're good at keeping, you know, all of the balls in the air at work and having a lot going on. And you obviously know what you're doing because you just got a promotion. So I can see you walking that rope successfully. And I pulled two more cards, which is how you see this promotion and then how your coworkers see this promotion. So you see it, you got the work card, the Eight of Pentacles came out. So this is you know, something, a new learning experience for you. This is just a new skill that you are starting. It's a new part of your career, and that's exciting. And I feel like you're going to give it your all, and you're willing to work hard, and you really want to perfect this. And then your coworkers, the next card is how your coworkers saw this promotion. And I'm not getting a bad, like they're not well-wishers, but I feel like a lot of, you know, maybe they see it as you're lucky, or like, oh, they're kind of waiting to see, are you going to be self-serving in this position, or how is this going to play out? So maybe they sense a shift of power. Anytime there's any kind of change, people get on edge a little because they're waiting for things to settle, and it does create change for them too. So that's what I'm getting. They're I don't think people are unhappy with this choice or with your promotion, but I do think that they're waiting to see which way this is going to go. But the best way to deal with them was the last card that I chose. The best way to deal with any challenges with coworkers. And I got the 3 of Wands. So I think keeping your eye on the prize and having confidence in what has led you here. You know, you are the best choice for this promotion, and you know what you're doing, and there's a reason why this came to you, and you don't have to feel guilty about that. I think you're going to carry the responsibility that it has really well, and you know, you consider everything. So I can see you looking toward the future. I can see you looking for ways to make things better, and you have this foundation, this wand that is behind you here. So I feel like you're ready for this, and you're going to treat your coworkers. The fact that you're worried about things going well with them, and that shows that you want to get along with them. And so I think that is half of the battle, that you're aware of, you know, the people around you. And I think that you will consider them. And what your guides, this isn't the last card, this is what your guides are just want you to keep in mind. And I think that they want you to keep in mind that this is you're cultivating yourself here. Okay, it's going to be successful for you, but I think that, you know, you have planted some seeds that you have been taking care of, and so now they're starting to grow, and they're starting to produce some positive results. And I think this is smooth sailing. But I do like that you're keeping your coworkers in mind. I just think that you need to keep it in perspective and keep focused on, you know, what you want to achieve in this position. And, you know, I would like that if someone were promoted, that they would consider the people around them. So kudos to you. And congratulations on your promotion.
Yeah. Also, congratulations here from Sweden. And yeah, I found that very interesting what you said, Amy, also with the 3 of Wands, like looking into who the co-workers are, and the 7 of Pentacles, that kind of garden that sometimes also needs to grow in its own pace, or at its own pace, a bit slowly, more slowly than we sometimes expect, perhaps. So with everything that Amy has already said in mind, I have got 3 cards here on that question: what will the relationships with co-workers be like? The first card that comes up is the Moon card. And the Moon card, it might be an invitation or a sign to really take things a bit slowly, and to take your time to find out what is real and what is not real. So who of the co-workers kind of present an image of themselves, but they are somebody else under the surface? What details are important, which details you can leave aside, and really take yourself time to dissecate the situation and to dissecate that relationships with your co-workers, not from a position of distrust that anyone would want to deceive you on purpose, but really as a way to get in touch with the co-workers' psyches, which will help you to build that stable foundation in your workforce. The Knight of Wands is card number 2, and the court cards in my reading style, they are always relationship cards. So here's a lot of fire, that very fiery knight that wants to put new ideas and projects into practice right away. And again, I see that as a warning sign somehow to take it a bit easy and slowly at your co-workers in the beginning, because newly promoted, of course, we might want to show everything that we're capable of, and that might trigger kind of conflict in your work situation, because people are not always as adaptable as we expect them to be. So taking it a bit easy and kind of being aware of the Knight of Wands energy, that in those work relations, and trying not to trigger too much of that in the beginning. And then the Tower card is the last one, and people usually are not too happy to see the Tower card, but usually I see it as an opportunity card, because the Tower enables us to break away those old facades, masks that no longer serve us, and to make room for things that serve a situation much better than like holding on to those old strongholds with like a big water pit around that castle. And here again, I think there is somehow a risk to break down the tower just too quickly and to go into controversy or kind of conflict too early on. But later on, after assessing the situation, there might also be positive sides to the kind of tower effect. So taking these three cards together, potential conflicts arising with co-workers, I see might come from perhaps not knowing them well enough, not finding the right handles on the people you're working with, going in and kind of creating some kind of strong emotions, going on too quickly maybe, and then also ending up in the tower moment a bit too early. So I think these are the aspects to keep in mind in terms of what kind of conflicts will arise or might arise in those new work relationships. And I think with just the 7 of Pentacles in mind, you have the power to own those situations and to make the best of everything.
Yeah, you do have some good pentacle cards, I think. All good cards for
makes sense.
For work.
Yeah. What an exciting journey.
It just started pouring rain here.
Oh.
There's a thunderstorm. We have storms every day now, so it's kind of our rainy season.
It's the typical 3 o'clock thunderstorm, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. It kind of makes things cozy.
Yeah. Yeah, so wishing you all the best for your exciting journey in the new position.
Yes, that is exciting. That's always kind of fun to get this burst of energy when you start a new job. I like that. Okay, Dice Controller 187 says, how will my summer be in general? So a general summer reading.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that I'm not really interacting with the comments as much. It's a bit difficult to see myself here on StreamYard, and Amy, of course, as well, and kind of switching between StreamYard and the comment section in YouTube.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm going to have to keep that in mind for next time. I'm afraid to click anything because, you know.
Yeah. Thank you everybody who's here and participating and commenting. So
yes, thank you.
It's really appreciated.
And I've liked these questions so far. Okay. Okay. Do you want to go, Manuela? Are you ready?
Yeah, I can go. Well, it's a bit like a tarot joke almost. So I will give a serious reading as well. But my first impression is kind of you will be very creative. You will have time to read books, and you will have some time for gardening as well. But of course, that is more the fun side of the cards. So I will go more in depth with the cards now. The Page of Cups is the first card coming up, and as the first card in the reading, I see it as a significator card, an aspect of yourself that you will have the opportunity to give space during the summer. The page is that innocent, young-hearted person in the cup suit with all the creativity and emotional freedom to them. So it feels like you will have the chance to explore those happy moments, to be in the happy moments, and to treat yourself with feeling young. And the High Priestess, it's that card of introspection and the knowledge that we have deep down in ourselves. And it speaks to you finding time and space to go deep with yourself, and maybe even to reassess some of your choices you're in. You won't need any external stimulation in order to reach that end of reassessment. You will just need to provide yourself with time and some solitude as well, and you will find answers to questions that you might have had for a long time. And then with the Seven of Pentacles, if we see this card as a continuation of the first two cards, you will find out what seeds you will plant in fertile ground and what kind of seeds you want to grow even after the summer. It is that long-term project card with the Seven of Pentacles. So it feels to me you will not only go deep with yourself and allow yourself to be playful, but you will find that new aspect that you want to nurture in the long term.
I like that. It kind of fits with the cards that I have. This is the card that popped out as just you right now, you in the summer. Are you a teacher by any chance? Because this is like, put a fork in me, I'm done. You know, this is, I think you've run a marathon and now you can stop. Okay. So I pulled a card that was the good parts of this summer, and then also what you need to look out for this summer, and then how to help with the things that you need to be aware of this summer. So the good part of this summer, one of the positive things is the Chariot Reversed. So I think, you know, the summer has come, and right now you're going into a cycle where you don't have to keep those horses running. You can just stop, and you are in maybe a less busy time, or, you know, your to-do list is lightening up maybe, and the structure of your days might be a little less rigid. And so I think that is a big positive, is this resting period where you're not doing the hamster on the wheel thing. You can take some time and feed the horses, and you don't have to go this way and go that way. And then what to be wary of is maybe having your head a little too much in the clouds. So I can see some of this creativity that Manuela's talking about. Sometimes when we have too many choices and too many options or too much free time, there's a lot of hypothetical stuff that goes on in our heads, and we might end up doing nothing or not pursuing any of those things because we have so many options, we don't know what avenue to take. And so we become stuck in our thoughts and what if, or I should be doing this and I should be doing that. So I would put the to-do list on hold over the summer and not feel like you have to check all of the boxes. Find, pick one or pick two, but don't pick 7. Okay, pick 1 or 2 that make you the most happy and make you feel the most restored or bring you the most joy or contentment. And that's where you can put your energy. And the message here from your guides, we have the Knight of Pentacles again, and his horse isn't going anywhere. Okay, it's time to not try to get to the end, check it off the list, get to the end. It's more of that 7 of Pentacles, all of those seeds kind of blooming where you're planted. It's time for that. So pick 1 or 2 things, and that's where you can focus your energy on, and that's really going to feed the horses, feed the metaphorical horses, and get them ready for this. This card is facing, well, I guess that direction, whatever. It's backwards. This card is like moving forward. So it's looking beyond summer. And I think, it's easy to say, I have all this time, or I have this less busy time, so I should do even more, and I should fill all this time in my date book with, look at all the free spaces here, I should do this and this and this. But really, sometimes the most productive thing you can do is just not as much, because then you will be ready for the next busy cycle, and you will have leveled up, and you'll have the energy, and you'll have the inspiration, and you will be rested. So whatever's making you happy this summer, the one or maybe two things that, you know, you want to focus on. Do that and let go of any guilt about all the stuff you could do. Because, you know, there are always a million things we could do, but, you know, pick one and leave the rest. So, you know, you don't need all of the swords over your summer. Get rid of those, and it's time to heal from all of the mental busyness that that maybe the rest of the year has brought. So it's a time to kind of grow and heal and rest and not be hard on yourself. Which is not laziness. It's actually making you stronger, making you able to take on other things. I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. And have a good summer. Even if you're not a teacher, still have a good summer, but still, I just got this wow. You've fought a good fight, so now it's time to rest. Summer is always good for that. Hit the beach, or if you can.
Yeah, the beach. If there's a beach. The page is at the beach as well.
Oh, yes. I love it. Do you have time for one more?
Trying to figure out where we are in the comments.
I think Maria has a question about Mr. Minnesota.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to Minnesota, Maria, but I didn't know it was for a Mr. So that's scandalous. Interesting. My Mr. Minnesota needs to move. How will this impact my trip in July and August? Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. Well, here's what popped out, Maria. Look away. Here's what popped out. The Lover's card. And that kind of popped out as just a general card, you. I think you're in a good balanced spot right now. And I think that you are someone who's very wise about choosing, kind of balancing, do I listen to my head or do I listen to my heart? I think you do both. And you're very, very practical about that. And you do things, I think you're good at taking care of yourself in that way. So the cards that came out were the trip and then the move and how that would affect it, and then what you can do to deal with that. So here's the Now, I don't know if Mr. Minnesota is someone that you knew from back then when you, because I know you went to high school there as an exchange student or as a study abroad student. So I don't know if that is someone from that time, but this is reversed. So what I'm getting a sense of is that it's not going to be what you thought. I think maybe it might not live up to your expectations, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying you shouldn't go. It's almost like there's a different person. And then we have the 5 of Pentacles for the move. So that might not be what you thought either. His move might affect where you're staying. And I want you to take this card with a grain of salt, because I don't think you're going to be staying out in the snow. You won't be out in the snow, okay, but it's probably not. I'm getting this image of you picturing something a certain way, and then it's not like that. But I'm not getting like a bad vibe or anything. And then how to deal with that is the 4 of Swords. I think you just need to put your mind at rest and know that you're in control here. You're not at the mercy of, you can always do what you want to do. So it's not like you're going to go and it's going to be a disaster or anything else. I think, you can go, and it's like, are you going on vacation to relax? It will be relaxing. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about a lot of little details, is what I'm saying. It might not be what you thought. Maybe it won't even be what you were hoping, but it's still going to be an interesting trip. Okay.
Yeah, actually my cards are completely different, but they say exactly the same thing. It starts with the 6 of Swords, which sometimes really is the journey card, the travel card. And I guess Mr. Minnesota is probably on the other side of the Atlantic, so you would have to cross that big water. And yeah, there is that idea of going, and there is that will of going. And yeah, the 6 makes it happen because it's, between 2 parties. And then the next card, it is the 8 of Cups. And here I see that you might be going a different, you might be choosing a different pathway than you initially planned, that you were expecting to go to one place, and now you changed your pathway to another place. Perhaps not, going to see the same person that you were planning to see, or you're not heading to the same place in the US that you were planning to go. It feels like a decision that is quite up to you, and it feels like it might not be the easiest decision to take either, but there's something you probably will have to decide in the end, because the circumstances have changed. And the last card then is the 4 of Pentacles. And I think here is the kind of choice of either doing the trip on your own terms, or kind of like seeing the positive side of the 4 of Pentacles. You do it on your own terms, you go wherever you want to go. It's not the most important thing to meet Mr. Minnesota halfway. It's perhaps more important for you to meet your own needs, or perhaps asking yourself the question as well, how flexible you can be in order to make the most out of the trip, and being adaptable to everything that has changed, and perhaps being flexible will bring will be the happiest trip in the end. I experienced this card here is very strong somehow in the reading. It's a strong card among these three, and I will leave it more as a question, kind of how important is it to you to own the trip and to get the trip on your what is it called, on your terms, or otherwise to be flexible and change plans and adapting the trip to somebody else's terms a bit. And that's entirely up to you. So there's no right or wrong. It's about your own boundaries and your own integrity.
I think you're the kind of person who, you know, following your head or your heart, you know, you can follow your heart there and take that chance and have that excitement, but also you are sensible enough to have maybe a backup. I'm thinking maybe you want to look now and see what hotels are in the area that you would be comfortable staying at, if you're not, so that you can have, like Manuela said, the trip on your terms, so that you can be comfortable. And, you know, wherever, if staying originally where you thought is not something you want to do, you can still have a great trip because you're not stuck. You already know what your options are before you've gotten there. And worst case scenario, you can just shoot me a message. My parents are in Minnesota. You can go stay with them if you need to. Thanks, Isabel.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense, and I hope you have a great time.
Yeah, wishing you a great trip. It sounds like an amazing opportunity after the lockdowns. In any case, being able to go somewhere else and having the freedom to choose how
they're
to.
having a heat wave, just so you know. It was hotter there than it was here in Florida the last week, so it's nice and summery. I'm not seeing any more questions.
Me neither.
Okay. And we've been going for over an hour. If you'd care to donate to either of us, our PayPal, of course, that's optional. We did this just because we really wanted to read with our Robin Wood decks, but our PayPals are in the description. And I hope these readings served everyone. I liked these questions. And you know, my Robin Wood does not often read for other people anymore. She's, you know, came out of retirement for this, and sometimes she's like an elderly cat. She's kind of finicky. So, but we really enjoyed this, and I'm enjoying the Robin Wood book. So I'm gonna have to read up on all the nudity and let's see what Robin Wood herself has to say. And if you're on the fence about this deck, this is just one of those decks that has been around forever, and going to probably be around forever, and it's not a very expensive deck if you want to try it out. Maria said hers were very glossy and slippery, but mine are so worn in that they're just well loved. So I've thought about edging it, but I just can't bring myself to edge it because I'm just afraid.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that I'll mess something up. So I think I'm going to leave it.
And those worn edges, they somehow add to the feel of the deck. If you kind of take away all those many years of loving the Robin Wood with a pen, would be a pity, I think.
Yeah, and the edges have become a little bit fluffier, and so I think it might bleed a little bit if I edge it. But yeah, it's starting to get a little yellow, and it's just worn in and well loved. So yeah. I think I'm gonna keep it the way it is. I'm gonna stick. Yeah. Okay.
That was great, Amy. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. I loved our Titanic readings and our Robin Wood readings. I think we should keep this tradition going. We'll find another deck that we have in common and do some readings with that deck.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be there in some weeks.
Yes. And I will see you soon in July for sure.
Yes.
And yeah, so thank you everyone who joined us. And if you're watching this on the playback, thank you for watching, and let us know in the comments if you have Robin Wood, like Robin Wood, want Robin Wood. And I can't say enough good things about this deck. You know, maybe nudity is a bonus for some people. Maybe some people like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would say don't let the naughty bits stop you from working with the deck. You can always, paint a bikini on it or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Manuela. I always love talking to you, and thank you to everyone out there, and we will see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.